Hello and I welcome you on Theater Recap. Today I explain 1994 movie Name the Chase. Jack Hammond arrives at the gas station to fill up his tank and purchase cigarettes for the road. When two cops enter the store, he pays the bill at the register. The man is nervous because of their appearance, but he tries not to show it and asks the cashier to give him the change faster. But he has difficulties. The cashier attempts to unpack a stack of change but accidentally spills coins, drawing the attention of the police. The cops notice a car of the same make and color on the street after hearing about the theft of a silver Volkswagen Rabbit on the radio. They asked Jack if he drove it, and he responds that he is a pedestrian. Meanwhile, customer grabs her throat and places a chocolate bar against her back, pretending it's a gun. He instructs the cashier to remove the police guns and place them in his pockets. Jack pulls a real gun from his pocket and threatens to kill the girl if the cops don't let him leave. He kidnaps the hostage and flees in a red BMW. A show about the lives of Newport police officers is being filmed in one of the patrol cars. The plot's heroes claim that there is enough crime in the city, but not as much as there is in megacities. The hijacking and kidnapping are announced again on the radio, and the cops, along with the reporter and cameraman, pursue. Natalie, Jack's hostage, requests that he release her and keep the car for himself, but he refuses because she is his insurance. He assures the terrified girl, however, that he does not mean her any harm and will let her go as soon as they are both safe. When a man wants to smoke a cigarette, Natalie grabs a cigarette lighter and attacks him, cauterizing the skin on his neck, causing the man to lose control and meander into the oncoming lane. Finally, he makes the girl back up, but the cigarette lighter falls on the seat between Jack's legs, and the car's interior is filled with smoke because of this hiccup. The cops are able to get a little closer to them, forcing Jack to exit the road and walk on the sidewalk. He yells at pedestrians to move out of the way and avoids injuring anyone. When the car returns to the racetrack, Natalie realizes she's about to puke and sticks her head out the window. The cops believe she is trying to signal them, but they quickly realize what is going on when everything the girl had for breakfast flies into the patrol car's windshield. Suddenly, Jack discovers that he has abducted not just a gas station girl, but the daughter of an industrial magnate, Dalton Voss. He realizes he can't get away from the chase within Newport, especially since everyone believes he kidnapped the billionaire's daughter to demand a ransom, so he drives onto the interstate highway leading to the Mexican border and informs Natalie that she must accompany him. Meanwhile, Dalton Voss arrives at the station after learning of his daughter's kidnapping and tries to find out if the police are doing everything possible to save Natalie. Employees eventually determine the criminal's identity. The day before, Jack was convicted and sentenced to 25 years in prison for armed bank robbery, but escaped while transporting prisoners. All available patrols and a helicopter are being linked to his capture, and news about the fugitive criminal and the kidnapping of the tycoon's daughter is already being broadcast on all federal channels. Several accidents occur during the chase involving civilian cars and an anatomical theater truck, from which artificial but realistic and frightening corpses fall out onto the road. Jack, once again attempting to calm Natalie, tells her that he despises violence and that the accusation is false. He lived on the other side of town and worked as a clown at children's parties at the time of the bank robbery. The real robber simply disguised himself as a clown, and Jack's neighbor reported him to the police after seeing him in a similar costume. During a search of the apartment, the police discovered the suit and arrested him so that the case could be closed as soon as possible. Natalie is contacted by Dalton Voss to see if she is okay. The man offers Jack a $50,000 ransom, but he declines in response. Dalton, Natalie's stepmother, and his wife find time to tell their daughter that she has been disappointing him recently, but Jack quickly grows tired of it. He interrupts their conversation and defends his hostage. Natalie is still taken aback by this gesture, because no one had ever allowed himself to speak to her father in such a tone before, let alone stood up for her in front of him. After hearing the news about his client, Jack's lawyer contacts the police and assures them that Natalie is safe because Jack will not harm her for anything, and then calls Jack himself. He asks him to stop the car and surrender, but he refuses because he was wrongfully convicted, and besides, now robbery, theft of 2 cars, shooting at police officers, and intentional kidnapping will be added to his charges. This means that instead of serving 25 years, he will be sentenced to life in prison. Later, Jack receives another call and is taken aback when the person on the other end introduces himself as a news correspondent and offers him the opportunity to conduct a live interview, to which Jack agrees. Meanwhile, Two passing by decide to become heroes and catch the criminal on their own, but their plan fails. They stage a major car accident and blow up their own car, but they themselves survive. Natalie discovers that the gun Jack threatened her with at the gas station was actually a candy bar, and she begins to understand why he can't stand violence. Natalie shares a chocolate bar with Jack, feeds it to him, and treats the wound on his neck that she caused. And Jack admits that when he saw her in the store before the abduction, he immediately thought that under different circumstances, he would have met her and asked her out. The girl starts asking him about his personal life and discovers that the last 2 years he was completely free while waiting for the verdict, and then kisses him and offers to make love right in the middle of the road, without looking up from the steering wheel, and the police on their tail are lost in guessing why the car suddenly began to wobble instead of taking a straight-line route. Natalie later expresses her desire to accompany him to Mexico, stating that she has nothing holding her back. She offers to demand a large ransom from her father in order to have something to live on for the first time, and as Jack considers this offer, he notices that the highway is completely empty. When they reach the Mexican border, the guys notice that the road is completely blocked, with a swarm of police cars and bulldozers crowding right in front of them, impeding their progress. Natalie panics once more and asks Jack to help her, and he turns around, goes off the highway to the side of the road and breaks through, not wanting to ruin Natalie's life, because she will have to hide from the police for the rest of her life if he takes her with him. They are immediately surrounded on all sides by police, reporters, and 2 helicopters. Jack hands the girl a gun stolen from a police officer at a gas station, tells her to get out of the car and stop putting herself in danger, and Natalie reluctantly agrees. The guy decides to spend his last moments of freedom listening to music and smoking a cigarette, after which he goes outside and pretends to get a weapon from behind his back, and the police respond quickly by firing a barrage of bullets at him, killing Jack on the spot. This, however, is a figment of Jack's imagination, and in reality, he doesn't even have anything to light a cigarette with. He gets out of the car, hands up, and allows himself to be arrested. Natalie, however, refuses to let the police detain her lover and decides to take action. She pulls a gun from her purse, kidnaps a reporter, and threatens to kill him if they don't let Jack go. And to demonstrate her seriousness, she blows up a police helicopter with a single shot. After waiting for the cops to release the man, she instructs everyone to remain seated. She boards the film crew's helicopter with Jack and the pilot, and they take off. A few days later, Jack and Natalie are relaxing on the beach in Mexico City,